Hi, my name is Chibia. I'm an alternative R&B vocalist and songwriter, classically trained violinist, and music educator here in Portland. So I don't feel like I have the most traditional musical upbringing. I started singing when I was really young, but I didn't sing in front of very many people because I was a little self-conscious. So my first instrument was actually the violin when I was in 4th grade. I had been the first out of all of my siblings to choose a string instrument. All my other siblings played instruments in band and only got up till like they were in middle school. So I was the very first to choose a string instrument, and then my 2 younger sisters followed suit. And during this time, I would practice hours and hours and hours. And sometimes it was just by myself, sometimes it would be with my sister, sometimes it would be with a group of friends. And that's the only support I had. I didn't have private lessons at all. I didn't get private lessons until I got to college. So a lot of the work that I did and the foundation that I had on my instrument was pretty much just playing a lot all the time because I was so in love with music. And so when I graduated high school, I ended up at Clackamas Community College, and I was one of the only string players at the time. And there was like a pod of classical musicians, and then there was a pod of jazz musicians, and I ended up gravitating very closely to some of those jazz musicians and learning just about jazz culture and learning about like actual jazz musicians that besides Miles Davis, and learning some jazz standards and sitting on jazz juries and just really being close and learning more about jazz during my time there. And also it was during the time, that same time was where I started feeling comfortable being a vocalist. And so I joined the choir at CCC for a bit as well. And so after I graduated from CCC, I transferred to Portland State University. I had joined PDX Collective, which was the jazz choir at the time, and I was in it for 2 to 3 years. I also was sitting in on combo classes and improv classes just to get as much knowledge about jazz and like jazz harmony while I was there. And also doing my music education program, as well as being in the symphony orchestra, doing ballets, doing the opera, and doing just chamber music. So I was really trying to get as much information about music as I could during my time at Portland State, and formed a lot of, again, relationships with some incredible jazz musicians and incredible classical. And then I finished my degree in music education at Portland State, and then went again to grad school for education and graduated with my master's in education in 2018. So that is what I currently do as my main gig, is teach orchestra in the Evergreen School District. I teach at a middle school and a high school, and I would work with 5th graders as well, getting them started up on instruments and learning how to find joy in playing a string instrument. Also teaching full-time in public schools. I lead my band, Chibia, and I get to work really closely with some incredible, awesome musicians, one of which is my collaborator in everything and husband and arranger, Alex Kaler. We work really closely to make all these arrangements nice and spicy and fresh, and making sure that all the hits are in the right places and all the harmonies are exactly what I would like. In this band, I mostly do violin and vocals, and occasionally pick up guitar, and we have bass and synth bass and keys and more guitar and drums and percussion. So it's a really fun combination of things, which you'll get to listen to now. Oh, my heart, it seeks solace too.